Cool. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Tonight at 10 p.m., Comedy Central presents the first episode of the 6th season of Drunk History. The show at this point feels absolutely classic and like it could go on forever. Each episode featuring new stories, storytellers, and guest actors. The only constant is creator Derek Waters, who is joining us today. But before that, let's take a look at Drunk History.
I'm Rich Fulcher.
Oh, we know. We invited you on this trip.
If my love isn't real, no love is real.
None of these words are words that have ever come out of my mouth.
Who are you gonna jerk off in this experiment? Aliens? An owl?
Oh, yes.
You need to catch a spy.
Booyah!
Oh my God, I'm pissing out of my balls.
Nice try, you dink. I like that one.
1, 2, 3, tunnel of love.
I have my story, you amazing puppet shits.
Everybody, please welcome Derek Waters.
Yeah! Thanks for having me back, Ricky. Who's ready to build? Let's build.
We're doing it.
Let's
We're building.
build this. Let's build this. Yeah.
Let's build this conversation about drunk history.
I'm ready. Let's
I'm
start.
ready too.
Thank you for having me, Ricky.
What do you got?
Hi. Thank you for my coffee. Sorry for the language.
What language?
Well, there was cussing in there.
But you're welcome to cuss here too.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Shit it up.
Build it up. Build it up. Shit it
Build
up.
that shit up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Derek, I love the first episode of the new season. Change the
you.
format a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, do you remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, I do.
Do you guys remember Are You Afraid of the Dark? Great show.
Do you have a favorite episode or a scariest episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? I do.
Please, build.
Well, the guest goes first. I think it was the second episode of the series, maybe third, and it was a little girl that was like in a mirror, and she had writings all over the wall of this house. It was like most of those shows were fairly like goosebumpsy, like they were just kind of goofy and silly, but that one was actually creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two criteria of being scared. Little girl and writing on the wall. Yeah. Petrifying.
And mirrors.
They're in most scary movies. Yeah. But so yeah, we did it like Are You Afraid of the Dark, except it's called Are You Afraid of the Drunk? And it's Rich Fulcher around a campfire with me and Kirby Hal Baptiste, and he's telling us the creation of Frankenstein. Did you know the history of Frankenstein and how it was created?
I didn't. I mean, I knew that Mary Shelley wrote it, but I didn't know of that story.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, so she's telling the story while Rich is telling us about her telling the story, and then her story is reenacted with Seth Rogen as Frankenstein and Will Ferrell as the monster. So, yeah.
And the
I got
story,
real lucky.
And the story of Mary Shelley telling the story is reenacted by
Evan Rachel
Wood,
yes.
Jack McBrayer, and
Elijah
Wood. Yeah. Rich Fulcher has been on the show before.
Yes.
Where did you first hear about him? Because he is an amazing character.
I used to take tickets at Second City in Los Angeles when I first moved there to intern to pay for my classes. And he had a one-man show at Second City, I believe was called My Mom Still Thinks I'm a Lawyer. And it was the best show. I loved it so much. And I just gravitated towards him, and we just became good friends. And then when I got this show, I was like, I could listen to you talk about anything. Will you please do the show? And yeah.
How many times has he done the show at this point?
It was probably 5 or 6. Yeah.
So almost
every
one a season.
Yeah.
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 And does he pick the stories, or do you guys pick the stories for him?
I give him 3 or 4 options every season to pick which one. But this one I said, you have to do the creation of Frankenstein. Just imagine him screaming, anything Frankenstein and screaming, "It's alive!" And he says, "Now finally, my mom can tell me I did something. Now get me some effing pancakes." It was great. Yeah.
Changing the format and making it sort of Are You Afraid of the Drunk? Oftentimes you see with TV shows by 5th, 6th season, they start messing with format. Mm-hmm. Is that you guys trying to find ways to keep yourselves excited while doing it as well?
I think excited, and I've tried to think, if I was watching the show, how can I see it evolve? And I felt keep keep the concept because you can't do anything. You have to keep the concept, but let me play with the format. Like last year we did a Unsolved Mysteries parody called Drunk Mystery, and we did that again this year. And just that, I just don't ever want the show to get old. I want it to keep evolving and getting your attention in different ways.
Do you still greatly enjoy sitting across from a drunk friend of yours as they try to regale you with a historical story?
I do. I know, like, people can watch and be like, that must be so hard, but I love people.
No, I watch that. It looks really fun.
Well, you don't see the 6 to 8 hours of the not fun part, but I agree. Look what you're doing. You like what I like.
Yeah.
I love talking to people. I enjoy hearing what they're going to say, and I also humbly think the show's done well because whether someone's talking about something that you believe in or not, when you're watching any human being talk about what they're passionate about,
100%.
You can't take your eyes off of them.
I had an incident over the weekend where someone was in my house that works at like a paychecks company, and they were somehow passionate about it, and I forced them into a 30-minute conversation about it where everybody else was like, could you stop talking to them about this boring job? And I was like, but they're excited about it.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I always think when that's like the thing we're told as kids, like, be you. Like, it sounds like, oh, that's so easy. But that's what it means, is like, because when you're you, everyone wants to hear how you feel and what you're passionate about.
And if you know the details, and if details are always exciting as well, like very
100%.
Specific things that people do.
And with history, it's fun to see people taking something that happened 300 years ago and making it about themselves.
Right. And also like kind of getting it wrong too, or
yeah.
finding absurd ways to tell it.
I also secretly always loved, I've never really liked smart people or smart people that think they're smart. So I was like, this could be fun to do a show where I could like see smart people acting like normal people.
But you also get to be the smart one.
Well, yeah.
Because you have to rein them in every now and then.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's the psychology of why I want to do the show. Finally, I can look smart.
Who has been your toughest storyteller?
Tough? I mean, that's hard. I don't
A couple people have gotten too drunk to be able to finish the stories, right?
Yeah, a lot of people have gotten too drunk. Sometimes people say they love a story, and then it turns out they actually didn't know anything about the story. But all in all, like, they're mostly my friends, and they've all been very, very good. Yeah, but it's all line taming. It's in its own way. You know, I gotta deal with someone drunk and trying to get them to say the right things.
Yeah, you said the 6 to 8 hours. What is the 6 to 8 hours?
Just a lot of drinking and a lot of them saying that they haven't done the story when they have, and me telling them, it's okay, we're fine. I just need you to tell it to me one more time. And there's a lot of babysitting.
So they start drinking. Do you wait to a point where you think it's clear that they're going to be good at telling the story now, or do you let them start from first drink?
The whole night is just, from the first drink. Yeah, we're just drinking all night and telling the same story over and over again.
They're retelling it over and over again
until it's good.
But someone like, so Rich Fulcher, is he telling the story over and over again and just looking for what could be funny?
Exactly, yeah, and me asking certain questions that would bring up dialogue for the stories. Yeah, so, yeah, it's work.
You said that you had mentioned in the green room how much you loved Evan Rachel Wood in this episode.
Yeah.
She is really phenomenal.
I mean, she's always been good, but there's just something of watching her emulate Rich and saying the most ridiculous things and taking them so seriously. And she's a really great person, so I'm very thankful that she likes the show.
You know, we live in this moment right now where people say, this is, we're living history right now. What a time to be alive.
Someone said that?
Yeah. Are there anything, do you see things happening right now that you think, God, that would be really great in like 5 years to retell on Drunk History?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything, I think. I know. I mean, my criterion for the show is that you can learn something from it, and that there's a beginning and end. So let's just hope there's the end soon so it can be a story. We're still in the middle of the story.
Oh, that particular story.
Well, I'm just saying you're asking about this time.
Right.
We got to get to the end of this story so we can reenact it.
Yeah, do you think the Trump presidency would make for a good drunk story?
It already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very dangerous, unpleasant one.
Yeah.
Worst
Long.
drunk story, really.
It'd
He's
be a long one. Yeah.
the drunk trashing the bar, and everyone's trying to get him out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who else do you have for guest stars this season?
I mean, it's listed, but I mean that whole first episode is definitely like our hugest cast. But there's Rachel Bilson, Vanessa Hudgens. It's a really cool. We've been really lucky with how many people actually like the show. Josh Hartnett, I'm just looking at this. We did 40
Josh
stories.
Hartnett in this somewhere?
He's in one. He's one of the guys you have to guess. We also did something new this year where people played me, where they were the guest hosts, like Dr. Drew sat in and was me for an episode, which is fun.
Where were you while that was happening? Were you
In the other room, not drinking. I got to take a break and let a doctor drink. You know what I mean?
Is that your reason for not doing? Like, I just don't want to be drunk every day we shoot.
Yeah. And I think it's another way of showing the show can evolve. You know, having guest hosts in there, and that it's not me all the time.
Who was Dr. Drew fielding a story from?
Duncan Trussell. Do you know Duncan?
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, and the story of John C. Lilly and testing acid on dolphins.
How did LSD?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did Dr. Drew do?
He's great. I think he's got a career. He says in it that his career's over after this, but no, he was great.
Were you nervous at all bringing guest hosts on, or were you just pretty confident?
I mean,
that
I don't
want
to lose my job. You know, being like, oh, if this person's real good, then I don't have a job. But
you bust into the room if they're too good. Okay, that's I'll take care of it. I'll do this one.
No, I was excited. I also wanted to see what it would look like, and like Taron Killam did one, and that was really cool. Amber Ruffin did one, and it was really fun.
What's been the hardest reenactment to shoot?
I don't know. I mean, define hard. They're all pretty hard, but they're also so much fun. I don't know what the hardest one would be. That's a good question. This dolphin one was pretty hard because we had to get, you can't have a real dolphin, so we had a puppeteer dolphin in water, going underwater and coming up and making this dolphin talk, I can't wait for that one. That one was hard, but they're all really fun. We did this one that's a real story of A League of Their Own, where A League of Their Own came from, and we did that all on stage with Vanessa Hudgens and Rachel Bilson, the true story of where Penny Marshall found it.
Who tells the story?
Her name is Anais Fairweather, and that's we did a baseball episode, which I've always wanted to do that.
Why
with the Black Sox. Well, I love baseball. I wanted to be a baseball
really?
player. Yeah. Yeah, Orioles. But yeah, we did the Black Sox, and the first black baseball player's name was Moses Fleetwood Walker, and I was really excited when we found this story. It's really, really cool.
That's not in. Is that in this one too?
Yeah, that's in the baseball episode.
Oh, that's in the baseball episode is two separate stories.
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The League of Their Own, Moses, the Black Sox, and Moses
Fleetwood Walker.
Walker.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How do you see drunk history evolving over the years? Are you trying to evolve it?
Oh yeah, well, doing the Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff like that, and making the world of history bigger. That there's a lot of stuff to learn from, and there's a lot of like worlds that we just don't know about.
Were you a history buff going into it?
I like stories. I liked Mr. Stang was the best history teacher you could have asked for at Towson High, but
Does he know this?
He does, yeah.
Have you ever gotten in touch with him?
Yeah, he was in season 2, like us hanging out in Baltimore. Yeah, that was, to make like your parents proud is cool, but like to make like your history teacher proud, like that's above and beyond.
Wait, you didn't get him drunk and make him tell a story, did you?
No, I don't want him to lose his job.
You didn't ask at all?
No. But he was in the Baltimore episode hanging out, and we had a drink together, and that was really cool. Yeah. But so I liked history, but I didn't realize I could get a job from it.
Yeah, you didn't realize. I mean, because the first one, it was just, they were on Funny or Die originally, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just the one story. How many did you initially make?
I just made one, and it was the Alexander Hamilton, Michael Cera's Alexander Hamilton, and Jake Johnson.
Free Hamilton,
Aaron
too,
Burr.
right?
way before Hamilton. Yeah. So it was just a one-time idea. Like, this could be fun. Never thought it would be a show.
And who was telling the first story?
Mark Gagliardi. Yeah, my friend.
Does he still appear on the show?
Mm-hmm. Every year.
Every year?
Yeah. I'm a man of my word. I like to keep my friends around. And drunk.
At this point, do you look for new cast members per season? I mean, not cast members in the reenactments, but in the storytelling place, or do you really have your set people that you like to do
It's
it?
hard to tell the story, no matter who you are, what you do for a living, it's just hard to tell a story, let alone getting drunk. So when you find someone that's really good at telling a story, you hold those people close.
Right, because you've had the experience of bringing a person or two in. It didn't work as well as they had thought, or you would thought. You had thought it would.
Yeah.
And that's kind of embarrassing for the person, I bet.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing because you got drunk for no reason.
And while you're drunk, you have to have someone go, I'm sorry, this isn't working.
No, you wait for the next day. Come on, Ricky, I'm a gentleman. No, but most of the time, I learned that the hard way. So now when I ask someone to tell the story, they tell it to me the day before, so I know the sober version of them knows the story.
Does the sober version usually include a lot of the jokes that they're going to be trying to do while they're drunk?
No, just the story. Because that's the thing. It's a comedy premise, but it's a history show. That's my secret goal is like, it's a funny premise, but I'm really just trying to tell history.
So now you have become a history buff.
I don't know.
And your priority is history.
Whenever someone says, I'm kind of a history buff, I turn the other way. I don't want to hang out with that guy. What history buff have you ever had fun with?
Yeah, true. It's a real dad phrase.
It's a dad phrase.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm cool. Okay. Cool people don't say they're cool.
My dad's a real history buff. That just means he sits alone in the other room for a while. He doesn't really. Yeah.
I'm kind of into trivia. Yeah, I'm kind of into leaving right now.
Oh, yeah. Trivia is the worst.
It's good to learn. It's good to learn stuff. Yeah. One episode I'm very, very excited about is the one that'll air next week. It's about national parks, which is very important to me.
Yeah,
and
especially right now.
Yeah. So we dive into how the Native Americans occupied Alcatraz and made it a national park. We dive into John Muir taking Teddy Roosevelt to Yellowstone to teach the president how important national parks are, and how Marjorie Stoneman Douglas saved the Everglades. So it's cool. It's like,
how long have national parks been of interest to you, or been something that?
My dad's never been on a plane. He's 70 years old. He's never been on a plane. He's claustrophobic. So we would only drive around in our little WT RV, white trash RV. And that's how I would travel. So we would always go to national parks, and I just always had a love for them and how important they are to us, and are crucial.
So you go into this season and you say, I want to do something about national parks. And then now that's airing in the midst of a government shutdown where trash is apparently all over the parks because workers aren't getting paid to clean it up. Yeah. So your idea of teaching people about history and showing people what's important is actually coming to fruition.
Yeah, and that's how I always feel like the show secretly wants to be, is like, it's not political, but the stories are making sense of what's still happening today, and like, just I want the audience to be like, why is this still happening? And this is important, and we should do something about it.
Do you have a favorite story that's been told over the 6 seasons that you've shot?
My favorite is probably, Claudette Colvin. She was a 14-year-old girl who did what Rosa Parks did, but a year before Rosa Parks did, and she influenced the NAACP to have Rosa Parks do what she did. So when I found out that story, I was like, man, I just can't believe like that's the heart of someone that was that young to stand up for that, and somehow it's on a comedy network, So I got real lucky.
Who told that story?
Amber Ruffin.
Amber Ruffin.
From Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Well, Derek, man, it's so good to have you back.
Thank you,
Congratulations on another season of Drunk History. It
Thank
premieres
you.
tonight at 10 p.m. And
That's
as we
really
said,
me. That's what I look like. If all else fails, I got that, Mom.
And as we said, we've got Rich Fulcher telling the story. We've got Evan Rachel Wood, Elijah Wood, Jack McBrayer, Seth Rogen, Will Ferrell. It's a really amazing episode. I think one of the best of the whole show. Congratulations.
Thanks, Ricky. I really appreciate it.
Derek Waters, everybody.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.